Thank you so much. Well, very nice to meet all of you guys. My name is Christy Hickman, and I am the Director of Strategic Partners here at ClearCo. We are a talent management company, and I will go through what that means, what modules we have, and how we support our current clients and prospects. And of course, if you guys have any questions along the way, please go ahead and come off mute. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to see the chat as I'm presenting, but go ahead and just chime in as you guys have them. Alrighty. So really to start out, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the reality today with regards to talent management and, really what HR teams are leveraging and what may not be working currently today. So really when we look at the landscape, HR teams such as yourselves are really tasked with doing a lot of different things and across a lot of different systems, right? So on average, HR teams are leveraging 21 different apps across applicant tracking, learning management, onboarding, etc. That is a lot to have to A, manage. B, they don't really connect with each other, right? You might have a system of record like an ADP or a UKG, etc. But the data is really living in a lot of different places. That can really slow down teams with regards to processes. And really, when you're looking at the data, it doesn't give leaders a clear view of what their workforce looks like today and how effective it really is. So, when you take a look at what that impacts with regards to a business, you're talking about slower hiring and potentially missed talent, right? We aren't able to get the individuals that could be really good for the role fast enough, which, can result in missing out on really good talents. Maybe onboarding isn't the best, and is kind of creating a bit of a retention issue. Maybe inconsistent performance management, right? Like I think that there's a lot that's changing in the space with regards to performance management where companies aren't just wanting their yearly reviews, right? They want to have opportunities to take notes in the performance module, to be able to document like what individuals are doing all the way through the year and be able to have half year, be able to do quarterly, be able to do 360 reviews. Being able to have that additional structure and capability is really important. And so just overall understanding that like the visibility into these workforce trends is something that is really important for companies today. And leaders are really forced right now to make decisions about their workforce without a clear picture. And that is kind of the root of all of this. So, when we look at the problem and kind of what is going on in the industry today, let's take a little bit of time and, introduce ClearCo. So, Clear Company, as I had mentioned, is a unified talent platform management system that really helps you to hire. So, think everything as far as, attracting good talent, leveraging an ATS or an applicant tracking experience, having background checks actually embedded into the applicant tracking system. So, you're not having to go everywhere and understand where the background check is, having a really solid onboarding experience, and then going into the succeed area, which is really quality performance management, tying that back to larger company goals, having employee engagement, which also adds to the retention piece, and then going into the grow, which is your learning management, making sure that you are upskilling and reskilling individuals so that you can continue to provide them with a career path as well as retain them. And then also compensation management. Like, how are you benchmarking initial roles? How are you benchmarking and understanding what merit increases should look like? And really giving those industry data points to you so that you guys can all make the best decision for your organization. So, what does this platform actually unlock? So, what this does for organizations is it allows them to be more confident in their talent decisions. It allows them to be able to hire and make sure that their performance metrics are all aligned and have really a growth metric and being able to progress across the entire organization. It also improves productivity, right? So it's reducing manual work. It is reducing elements that take a lot of time in your guys' day. It improves retention and just, again, better visibility into insights so that you guys can take as an example from a tangible perspective, who are your top performers in the organization due to the performance reviews? and which ones, might need a little bit of help with regards to upskilling and reskilling. You can actually see that through the performance review. Take the makeup and the skill sets and the certifications and backgrounds of the top performers, and then put those skills into a new rec as you're trying to hire for the same role, right? So take the makeup from your top performers and be able to put that into the recruiting module so you can hire more people that look like and act like your top performers. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the hire module. So think applicant tracking. We can talk a little bit about background checks as well. But really the biggest thing here is to be able to streamline the candidate experience. So this is really the meat and potatoes of where we started at Clearco, was on the applicant tracking side, and that's where we kind of started growing the rest of the modules. So ATS is our bread and butter. And really what we've done is made sure that we are streamlining all of the activities so that the user of this platform, it is so seamless, it is so user friendly. And it also allows for, tactical tasks to have to be, basically an easier way of being able to do that with the human still making the decision. So as an example, AI assisted candidate matching and ranking, all this does, it allows you to look at all of the resumes, be able to see what the competency score is against what you're looking for from the role perspective, and you can see the top candidates at the top. But you can decide who you want to interview depending on what the ranking is. Um, Interview management, this is a huge importance and focus for a lot of our clients and prospects. They want to have a customized workflow for different types of interviews, right? So you could have the first interview with one person, you might have a panel interview for the second, and then you might have the final with like the CEO. You can set that up as much as you want to. It also comes with scorecards and questions that are pre-baked. You can obviously be able to change those, but it comes in from a competency system based upon like what is the vertical, what is the company, what is the role type, and what kinds of questions would be best to dive into. And it's all in one central location. So you're not having to, like, I don't know if any of you guys have done this before. I definitely have. But you see that you have an interview coming up on your calendar, and you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't had a moment to look at their resume or their LinkedIn. What questions should I ask them? And you feel a little flustered, right? It is all in one scorecard. So you can actually see their resume, see their LinkedIn, and have behavioral questions as well as metrics-based questions to ask them. You fill out the scorecard, you complete it, and then you can see everybody after the interview who has connected with them as well in the interview process. I won't go through every single thing here, but it just showcases like the ability to customize, the ability to have your own way of doing workflows, and being able to have consistent communication so that you don't lose out on one of your top hires or potential hires. So let me pause there. Any questions on this before I move on to onboarding? You might be on mute, Kristen.
I don't think there's been any questions. There has been nothing in the chat. I think everybody's
Okay,
just listening.
sounds good. Awesome. So once we have the applicant tracking, obviously next element is onboarding, right? We want to make sure that they have a really solid onboarding experience so that they are retained and that they're excited to continue to work. And not only that, that they're actually providing the value that they need in order to continue their growth at the company. So pre-boarding and onboarding, customized workflows, task assignments, making sure that there are reminders of what needs to be completed and when. There are elements of our learning management system that are in the onboarding as well, so they can be onboarded quicker, so they can actually provide value faster. Checklists, cross-functional coordination, all the way going into equipment. Documentation and compliance is a huge thing here as well. So making sure that there are e-signatures, digital forms, everything that you could ever think of is within this onboarding module. So kind of completes the hire aspect of the visual that I was showcasing not too long ago. So we'll continue to move forward and get into the succeed portion of the platform. So succeed, really the biggest thing here, and I'd mentioned performance management really kind of growing and altering as we continue. Organizations are really wanting to have more real-time feedback, right? Like not just once a year. And a lot of the times, if you do just an annual review, you can kind of feel like you're only thinking about the last maybe 2 or 3 months of their tenure, right? So being able to have quarterly reviews, having consistent and continuous performance reviews, custom review cycles, it really allows for a lot of flexibility for organizations. Goal setting and alignment, we have cascading goals, even my team. So I create goals that are based upon my boss and my boss's boss. And it's just really good to be able to visually see where those goals are coming from and why. The check-ins and the one-on-ones, I use this performance module with my teams and being able to have our one-on-ones documented. What am I doing? What are they doing? And then each time we meet, we can actually look through it and be able to see what is completed and what isn't. Um, Peer feedback obviously is super important, 360 reviews, and you can see the reviews over time. So you can see, I started back in 2023, so you can see every one of my performance reviews. We do them each quarter, actually, so it can kind of be a lot, but it's really good to be able to see like how has my progression been, as well as for my team. So configurability is a really big thing here. Being able to give that opportunity to craft it how you all want, I think is a really big piece and focus for us. All right. And then going into the grow aspect, I'm going to highlight a little bit about our learning management system. So I don't know if you guys are familiar at all with Brainier. Brainier LMS was the company that we acquired. That was a couple years ago. And really what we wanted to do was round out our applicant tracking, onboarding, and performance with a really, really best in class LMS system. And that was Brainier. So Brainier has been basically engulfed into our system. It is an end-to-end. It's not like another module that's kind of sitting out here. It is a part of our entire platform. We did rebuild a few elements of it to make sure that it's seamless. But really biggest thing here is it is role-based learning paths. So a lot of the times when I talk to clients and prospects and even our partners, LMS is kind of seen as like a content house, right? Like you have an LMS that has like maybe 3,000 courses, or you have to buy these courses to bring them into the LMS, and it feels almost like a bag of content, right? For us, it is really important that yes, you have the obligatory compliance courses, right? You have like the standard courses that every company really truly needs. It comes with 10,000 courses. In addition to that, though, you can create your own courses based upon roles in the organization. So for me, every new strategic partner manager that comes on, I have a set of courses that are already pre-calculated based upon the role. So I don't have to manually assign these courses to new hires. So especially if you are building new programs, or you want to just streamline your onboarding experience, this is a really good way to do it. Um, and in order to like create the content yourself, having that be role based is huge, right? Like a lot of organizations are using the compliance aspect, which yes, we have. But I find that really on the job learning with actual role-based content that is created by companies, you can get a very, very solid onboarding experience as well as upskilling and reskilling. Um, that's really the biggest elements here that I wanted to focus on. I will also say that we do have compensation management as a part of this. I didn't have a slide on it, but I did want to mention that. That is a newer element to our platform. And again, that just enables companies to be able to benchmark to either existing roles, or being able to understand like, hey, I'm going to create this new role. Like, let me understand what compensation would fit for either the location or the criteria for the actual job rec. So outside of the modules themselves, I did just want to do a little bit of a recap of our key integrations. So we talked a little bit in the beginning about system of record. So ADP and UKG are our two main partners that we work with, where we have bidirectional integrations with them, meaning that they would still be the system of record, but we would be able to have the talent pieces matched to the system of record. And what I mean by that is we would send all of the new hire information back to ADP so that payroll and everything else can happen. Same thing with UKG. And then if a company is using us for performance and LMS, we take all of the information of like org charts, right? Like the roles that they have within ADP and UKG, and bring them into performance and LMS so that we can actually pair content and actual courses with those roles, which go into the LMS like role-based system. Everything else that you see here as far as like job boards, yes, we have a ton of APIs into different job boards. We also obviously have video conferencing for interviews. the list goes on, right? Assessment providers, et cetera. So, like, we really want to be the hub for all things advanced talent management while still allowing you all to have your payroll system so you don't have to be changing that, right? So, if there is a talent need, whether it's applicant tracking, onboarding, performance, what have you, we would love to be able to have a conversation and help you out so you don't have to redo your entire, payroll system. So with that, I know that we talked about like this unified platform. I did want to mention that we can piece it together a little bit, right? So it doesn't have to be the full end to end. You can either have Clear Recruit, which is essentially the ATS background checks and onboarding with, of course, our analytics. You could also add in learning management. You could have just performance and learning, or you could just have LMS as a standalone. So just for you guys to think that like, yes, of course, all of the modules speak to each other. And when you have the data aligned, this really helps with consolidation. So you're not having one best in breed for ATS, one best in breed for learning management or something else. We really are able to take all of those modules because we sell all of them, put them together, have really good data insights. But of course, if you just want one module, and maybe you want to think about the other ones later down the road, that can happen as well. And then I just want to make sure that you guys know about our support model. I think it's really important. So for us, our technical support is really impactful for us. And we want to make sure that you guys are set up in the best way possible and you are attaining the goals that you are wanting to achieve. You will have a dedicated implementation manager. You'll have a dedicated customer success manager and an account manager. This is really important for us to make sure that like you are leveraging the tools in the way that you want to so that you're getting the maximum ROI. So I wanted to walk through that with you as well. And then I will leave you all with some user reviews. So these are G2 scores. If you guys go into G2 and look up Clear Company, it might be under Clear Company as opposed to Clear Co. We did a little bit of a rebrand, but we are the same company. These numbers on the screen showcase actual users of the system for ClearCo relative to other providers, right? So on the left-hand side, you'll see iCIMS, JobVite, Lever, Greenhouse, Phenom. These are more in the higher category. So think applicant tracking and onboarding. On the right-hand side, this is more on the LMS and performance side of the house. You'll see the NAs at the very bottom. That's just because they actually don't have performance, that they just have LMS. So biggest thing here is just to showcase like, don't just believe what I'm saying. These are actual current customers that are using our system every single day, as well as other potential alternatives. And you'll be able to even go in and read actual reviews, like written reviews as well on G2 if you're interested. So with that, that is actually all that I have for today. If there are any questions, I will pause and let you all come in and ask.
Thank you, Christy. I will wait if there's other additional questions, but I was wondering on, so you were suggesting with this platform that they don't have to purchase all of the modules so like let's focus on the recruiting end. I know that a lot of our printers are struggling with the recruitment.
Yep.
So, can you give me a little more detail about how that works?
Yeah. So within our applicant tracking system, we have two ways of kind of attracting top talent. One of them is job boards. And if there's a very specific job board that we don't have an API with, we can create that for you guys. But then we also have our candidate attraction module. So basically what that is it's a sourcing module which understands what types of profiles you are looking for. It could even like get it down to like, hey, I want them to live in a certain area. I want them to have like these sorts of skill sets. And we are able to source that candidate from the sourcing module. It also helps with like passive candidates. So let's say that somebody like, interviewed or maybe they applied for a job previously. We can keep them warm by doing drip campaigns to them as well. I think both is helpful because you have like the snapshot for the job boards, but then you also have more of a laser focused sourcing module option where you're like, this is the type of person I'm really trying to find. We also have LinkedIn RSC, which is basically you can hold on to LinkedIn recruiter module and it can flow directly into our applicant tracking if you guys have had really good success there. And the biggest thing I would say is metrics, right? So with our analytics tool, you can see how many people you've actually interviewed through which sources and which ones are actually becoming an employee and actually staying. And what does that look like from a retention standpoint? So not only, as I'd mentioned in the performance module, saying who are my top performers, where did they come from? Did they come from LinkedIn? Did they come from the sourcing module? Did they come from a specific job board? That way you can really alter the spend and be like, let's double down on the sourcing module because we're getting quality candidates that way. And we're not really getting any bites off of like the job boards. Um, I think that's really helpful for companies. So
For sure. Ben had a question. I know you said that you integrate with ADP payroll. Do you, and we may have asked this question, do you have a relationship with Paylocity by chance?
So we do have a relationship with Paylocity. We do have a bi-directional integration with them. They're
Okay.
not a strategic partner of ours, meaning like they're not a
Okay.
referral partner of ours. We're like an
Okay.
integration partner with them, if that makes
Okay.
any sense. So one thing to note is the bi-directional integration. There is not a cost for the bi-directional integration with UKG. There's a
Okay.
small cost, 1250 a year, as in $1,250 a year for
Okay.
ADP.
Okay.
But Paylocity, they do charge on their side. They charge 625 for the setup and then $1 PEPM each year.
Okay. Okay.
So for organizations that are like 300, 400 employees and above, that can kind of add up at times. So
Good.
just something to
Right.
think about. So
Good to know.
yep,
Yeah, I know, I believe some of our members do use ADP. We just have a group buying program with Paylocity, and I do think some of our members use that as well. I know you had mentioned with Ben and I, um, sweet spot for number of employees, company size that you
yep,
work with. Can you kind of explain
yep.
that too? Mm-hmm.
So what I will be transparent about, our full package of customer support, dedicated implementation manager, customer success, that starts at 250 employees.
Okay.
If it's under 250 employees, it is a self-serve model. So it doesn't mean that we won't sell to those companies. It just means that it's a guided implementation with assets, right? And that
Okay.
has proved to be successful. But for those that want a human being to talk to, that support starts at 250 employees.
Okay.
Um, our sweet spot is that 250 to about 2,000 employees.
Okay.
And that's really where we do our best work. Again, we will work with smaller organizations. I just want to be upfront and transparent about what the support looks like for smaller
Right.
organizations. So,
Yes, I wanted that to be a part of this or the
yep,
knowledge for. Um,
yep.
does anybody else that's on the call have any questions for Christy at this point? If not, so PIM has partnered up with Clearco in a way that you can find them on our group buying page, and you can reach out to Christy. If you want to explore any further, have questions about individual modules, working that way with them if you are on the smaller side. But I do know we have one member that uses them and loves them. And so we just wanted to have the opportunity for them to speak to our printers because we know that now we are all having to operate with smaller staffs in the HR area. And so this is a solution to kind of help you on all fronts. And so that's why we brought her in today. And we do appreciate Christy, you giving us the time to talk about your platform.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. My contact information is on the PIM website. And thank you so much for the opportunity. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.
Yes, thank you so much, Christy. And for the HR people, if you want to stay on, I have a few more things to go through. And Jordan, they're giving little hand
Thank
claps
you.
for you. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I bet you need to go rest now.
I will do that. Thank
All
you.
right. Good luck.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Um, she moved across the country yesterday. So we were lucky to keep her there so we could have that discussion. Thank you. And we'll be able to share that this recording with you later if you have any more questions. Um, at this point, we have, I know, three people on the call. I don't know if everybody just wanted to do a quick introduction. If you're listening or available, Chris Davis here from Printing Industry Midwest. I am the executive director, and I thank you, HR people, for being here today. Like I said, we're recording this, so we will share it with all of our PIM HR contacts as well. Ben is on the call, but he did have his wisdom teeth removed yesterday, so he's going to stay probably silent. But I don't know if the three of you, Holly, if you wanted to say hi.
Sure. Hi, I'm Holly Blades. I work for Wallace Carlson. And yeah.
Thank you. Amber, I don't know if you want to say a quick hi. Unmute. I think she's trying to unmute. There you go.
My computer's acting funny. Um, can you hear me now?
Yep, we can.
Okay, good. I'm Amber Owens. I am with Wright Printing in Omaha.
Thank you. And lastly, Jordan, I don't know if you want to mute, you can say hi.
Yeah, I'm Jordan Nelson. I am with Bolger as the HR generalist.
Thank you. All right. Well, great to see and have you all here. I just wanted to go through a few events that are coming up, just to kind of let you know if you have employees that are interested. You did get this agenda, so there is a direct link. But the PIM Golf Tournament is upcoming. It's on August 6th. We are having um, great registration, but there are still spots open. So if you have a golf foursome or a few people that are looking to golf, that is at Bunker Hills in Coon Rapids, and we're looking forward to it and excited. Um, for anyone looking for the Train the Trainer, Pin Par Truck Train the Trainer, it's also called Forklift Train the Trainer training. We have an in-person Train the Trainer going on August 27th in Bloomington. So if you're looking to get anyone trained, that date is opened on August 27th. And it is there as a direct link, and it's also on our events platform. Kathy also does these in-house for companies if they're ever interested, as well as she does do them on occasion online too, but this one is an in-person class that she is having on August 27th. We are having our pen paper drive for teachers. That is September 18th at Lindenmeyer. I don't have it on our registration page yet. September 18th is the paper drop off. And so if your company has paper that they're setting aside, we just want to let you know that the date for that is September 18th. September 19th is pickup for that drive. Teachers from all over the state come to get paper for their school year. And then lastly, our PIM Women in Print is coming up on October 8th. It just was added to the registration page. We normally sell out of Women in
Thank
Print
you.
by um, probably mid-September, and so registration is encouraged early for that event, but it is now up and ready to register. Our speaker this year is Emily Schultz from John Roberts, so we're really excited to hear her story. Um, Just wanted to remind you of two places that are great for you is PIM University. PIM University can be used as that onboarding tool. It is to help new hires or even people in your company that have little knowledge or even knowledge of press operations. This platform is free for all members to have access to and for any of their employees to have access to. So we just always want to do that as a reminder. Also want to remind you that the employment resume section, we have seen some resumes come through recently. So if you haven't been there, you might want to go check out to see if there's any new resumes that you might be interested in looking at. And I do just also want to, and they're free for our members to have access to, and only our members can have access to the resumes. If you want to place or are looking for hires, we always want to remind you that you should be using our employment section to post your jobs and make sure that you're doing that. Um, at this point, I'm just curious if you have any concerns or questions that you would like me to look into, or if you're of need of assistance or help that we're not helping you with. Um, I'm also looking for ideas for upcoming HR huddles if you're not seeing something or would be interested in us looking in or pursuing anything. Anyone have that? If not, I know this says till 11:30, but it's really kind of just an open-ended sort of thing. Hoping for discussions or topics, but if there is no discussions or topics, there's really no additional need to keep going. Anything else for today? I know that was short and it is short and sweet, but I will say that with the clear co, yes, Holly, I guess
Oh,
popped on. Oh,
nope, I've been here. Just
okay. Yes, I know you've been here. I don't know. So if nobody else needs anything from me, we will end the call today, unless people have any questions or concerns.
nope, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your participation today. And next one is set for October 22nd. I will be starting to look around for ideas. If you guys have ideas, feel free in emailing me and letting me know. If not, I'll find a different topic to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, I have one thing. Chris, could you send me or send whatever for that paper drive? I can check and see what we have.
For sure. That is on my list to do
Great.
in the next couple days to put it up on our website, and I will send it in the notes recap for this, as well as I'll make sure you get it, Jordan.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. Anything else today? All right. Y'all have a good day, and we'll hopefully connect soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.